ribs aren't any fun. Welcome to Twisted Die Roller. My name is Charles, and holy crap has it been a day, but hey, at least I don't have a cracked rib, so that means that I can stream tonight. Hey Indigo, tell your mom that we all hope that she gets better, than it isn't anything more serious than maybe a bump or a bruise. Anyways, everybody, welcome to Twisted Die Roller. My name is Charles, and tonight I get the honor of being the Dungeon Master, Game Master, the guy running the show for this motley band of adventurers. I want to see if eventually Connor leans all the way off of his screen. That would be so cool. There we go. There we go. The quality of the stream has improved already. All right, so everybody out there, if you're new to the channel... all right, so everybody, if you're new to the channel, if you want to go ahead and take a look down below into the doobly-doos, as Mr. Matt Colville says, or the panels, you'll find out everything there is to know about this channel, but I am going to cut a long story short. Last January, my daughter was diagnosed with stage 4 nodular sclerosis. In December of last year, 2021, about a month ago, it was declared that she was in remission, and our family lucked out. We lucked out simply because the fact that by the time they found her cancer, it was already stage 4, which is usually a very, very bad thing. In this case, we lucked out because Hodgkin's lymphoma, not to be confused with non-Hodgkin's. Hodgkin's lymphoma happens to be a lot closer to being one of the curable cancers, and it's also notoriously slow moving. So the whole drive behind this channel is, my wish is to raise awareness of cancer, and primarily upon early detection. The importance of early detection when you're dealing with cancer, it can be monumental. There's a lot of much more aggressive forms of cancer out there, such as like colorectal, lung cancer, brain cancer, things like that are hyper aggressive, and early detection may indeed be your only chance of survival. So as I want to say, if you, a friend, a loved one, somebody you know, a co-worker, compatriot, a partner in crime, if you will, are suffering from an ailment, a cough, a sneeze, a scratch, an itch, a pain, an ache, a twinge, and it's been going on for more than a few weeks, more than a couple weeks, I urge you or that person to go see a doctor, because while doctors nowadays are certainly not cheap, it is a lot less expensive to get an early diagnosis of a form of cancer and be saved than to put yourself through a cancer fight that you could possibly avoid. So go get checked out and all that other stuff. The other thing that you're going to see down below is all the things about this channel. I want to point out a couple key points. Those two key points being that while this channel is not here to make ungodly amounts of money, it's not here for any of us to get famous. These guys are my gamers. They're my players. They would play with me on stream or off stream. They don't really care as long as they get the game. And honestly, I'm the same way. I'm just here to heighten that. And I wanted to figure out a way to say thank you to you guys, our viewers, because without you guys coming and stopping and hanging out with us and seeing all the zany, crazy shit that we do on this channel, the message doesn't get out. So if you're even here for a few seconds or anything like that, I wanted a way to say thank you. And I came up with two possible ways of doing that. Back in the day, I used to run a fairly successful channel called Forge at the Table, and we were running at one point in time with 5 or 6 GMs, and we had 12 campaigns and 18 shows weekly. I was spending about 80 hours a week connected to my computers, very much sitting in almost the exact same place, except for against the wall that the goblin over here is on. That was where I was sitting at. My point being is that, like that channel, I want to try and get you guys into games with us, with me running them or other GMs. Right now, just me. And the way that works is simply, right now is going to be, the first attempt is going to be a one-shot towards the end of February. And then from that point, I'll add in more one-shots as interest is there. And if interest gets there mid-year to the end of the year of people that actually want to play in an extended campaign, that could be 5, 6, 7, 8, 20 sessions, or it could be 40, 50 sessions. Who knows? That's something I'd like to do for you guys. One of the things that you need to do, or there's two, you need to be a follower of this channel right now. That would be super helpful. And you need to go click on that Discord link right there and go get involved over on our Discord. Those are the two things that are required in order to be in on this. If you wanted to be one of the cool kids on the block, you could always go over and follow our Twitter. That helps out a lot, both with me getting information out there, but also keeping you guys updated on everything it is that we have going on, whether it's a giveaway, whether it's a one-shot, whether I'm going to be launching a campaign, whether I'm bringing somebody else in as a guest GM or something like that. That's the quickest and easiest way for you guys to stay abreast of that. Speaking of the fun stuff that's going on tonight, it's looking like I opened my mouth earlier on Twitter and a couple other places, and I said something about us doing a giveaway tonight. So we are going to be doing some giveaways tonight at the midway point or whatever, whenever I decide to do our break for the evening. We are going to be giving away, let me see what I want to give away on the break. On the break, we're going to be giving away this beautiful book. This is the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Advanced Player's Guide in the digest form. This is a brand spanking new book. Really good book. Last week we had somebody win the core rule book, and we've had a couple people win dice since then. So we are doing this giveaway this week to one lucky viewer. You have to be a follower on the channel. Again, you have to be a follower. You have to be present, and I'll explain how things work when we get to that point. And then, just because I want to, we're giving away some dice tonight, or I should say we're giving away a die tonight. That die tonight that we're giving away is this totally kick butt. This is from Upper Deck. This is a good size. As you can see, I got big hands. This is a D20 dice bag, and I can stick my whole hand in there, so you can fit quite a few dice into this thing. Really cool. I think the genie there has got the purple one. I have the black and red one right here. They're really pretty cool. So stick around for that. I don't know when this is going to be given out, but it will be given out tonight. And who knows, I've got some dice over here and some other odds and ends. Couple last things before we kick this off. We have, if you look down below, we have a contest going on for this guy every Saturday night when we're streaming this campaign. If you want to post one time a name for this goblin, we will write down your username and we will write down the name that you give. And then March 19th, during that stream, we're going to pull one lucky winner. And that winner is either going to win a Pathfinder 2nd Edition GM's kit, which is the core rule book, all 3 bestiaries, and a GM screen. Or you can win the player's kit, which is Swords and Secrets of Magic, Guns and Gears, the APG, the core rule book, and I believe it's a spell deck of your choice or a deck of your choice if you want. That would be on March 19th. Both those are about $200 prize packages. So whichever you want is what we'll send out if we choose your name. And then shortly after that, we've got the life-size kobold, which will be sitting over here. Secondly, what else did I want to put out there tonight? We had a catastrophe earlier today. The program that I have been touting and putting out there as being the program that I use to do all my notes and campaign chronicling and all that stuff. Well, guess what I found out today? It's got a bug. All my notes, all my setting information has vanished into the ether. I do not have backups of it. I am currently talking to that company because I actually pay to have it cloud backed up, and it doesn't seem to be refreshing from the cloud or anything. So tonight, people are going to get a chance to see exactly what the heck improv is, because without my notes, I don't know exactly. I have a rough idea. So I am using a couple of pretty cool little products that I have. I am using this Dungeon Discoveries from Loresmith. It's a deck, so I pulled 3 cards out of that, and I have an amazing book, by the way, for all you GMs out there that want something pretty cool. Arcane Artifacts and Curios by Madeline Hale. If you do a look on Amazon for Madeline Hale, you'll be surprised. Amazing book. She has like 3 or 4 books curated of, and all it is lists of things and crap like that. So it's really cool. So we're gonna be kind of a little bit of improv going on tonight, so that should be interesting. There was one more thing that I wanted to bring up, and I can't remember what it is, and this is why I should have notes. Wait, I did have notes, but they vanished. Yeah, so tonight is session 2 of A Dark Wind Rises. Oh yeah, Monday I will be back on here doing session prep at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for a long way from here to there. That is our 5e D&D campaign involving both Christian and Jeannie, that will be at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Tuesday evenings or Tuesday nights. We're going to be doing that. We might be doing a giveaway this week. I don't know. We'll figure that out. I hope everybody out there can see the GM dice cam. Oh, and I think it locked up. It did. Let me see if I can restart the die cam. Oh, this is just one of those things, I tell you. Yeah, it's not doing what I need it to do. Why did you deactivate? Give me a second, everybody, and let me figure this out and see if I can get it up and running again. Oh, this is not cool. This is not cool. It does not look like it's going to give me back my die cam. Let me see if I can do this and just kind of snap it back. Give me a second. Ooh, look at that. We lost cameras. We lost my main cam. Uh-oh, that was the main cam. Oh yeah, it's been a day. It has been a day. Yeah, we've lost all video because I'm not on that screen anymore. I'm trying to get the die cam up and running. But apparently, it does not want to work tonight. And it's pretty much the way things have been going today. Well, I tell you what, I am not going to worry about the die cam. I'm not going to worry about the die cam tonight. We are just going to play. Look at that. I don't even have the die cam up. What? No. Don't be doing this. Don't be doing this. Yeah, and it shouldn't be doing that. Oh, this is my night. I tell you, this is absolutely the way that this night is going right now. All right, diced. Wow, why is that not showing at all? So let me see if I can do this without blowing things up. Nope, I better not do that because that's going to cause problems. I'm having a lot more problems than you may understand. I have got so much stuff flickering on my screens right now. Okay, I'm not. Yeah, what's going on here? Why are you not giving me what you're supposed to? Yeah, everything came on way too quickly, way too easily. Hold on there, folks. I am working. I am trying to get this back up and running. Hey, this is quality entertainment. I'll tell you that much. This is quality entertainment. I tell you. All right, so I am not going to worry about that. You can see the map over there where the GM dice cam's supposed to be. Like I said, it has been a day. It has been an absolute day. I'm going to turn on the comms. I'm going to let these guys, starting with Barash. Connor, go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about you really quick and your character.
I'm Connor. I'm playing tabletop role-playing games since 2010. And I'm playing Barashk, a lizard folk wizard. And these are my snacks that are traveling with me.
Jeannie.
I am not a snack. I am playing Ferlina, a blessed cleric, half-elf, who just got her butt whooped at the end of the last session. And been gaming for about 25 years.
Oh, damn. Sorry, I'm working on the camera. Trying to get it back.
Hi, I've been playing Pathfinder and D&D with these guys for probably 8-9 years now, and I am currently playing Sez, the Rat Folk Ranger.
That would leave only one person.
Hi, I'm Christian. I've played a little bit of tabletop games here and there. I'm playing Selenar, a Seer Elf Magus, and I got my first ever kill with these guys last week.
And my name is Charles, and like I said, I'm the game master tonight. I've got decades behind me under my belt. That doesn't mean jack. I'll let you guys decide if what we do here is any good. I am trying to fidget and get this camera back up and running, but in about 2 seconds. Oh yeah, something else I need to do. If you can hear, there are some sound effects coming through. I will go ahead and do a necromancy spell for everybody. That right there is from the Classic Adventure soundboard from Sirenscape.com. All the audio that you hear, the special effects, all of that stuff. I am not sponsored by Sirenscape, but I am sure happy to use their amazingly awesome product. If you look down below in the doobly-doos, you're going to see a gamer resource sort of thing set up down there. That has the links to everything, and that has the links to 2 websites I want to tell you about right now. One of those is Sirenscape.com, because, hey, every good role-playing game needs an awesome soundtrack, so go check those guys out. Like I said, that was off of the Classic Adventure soundboard, everything that you're hearing going on right now. The second thing is the other day we got followed by a couple people. One of those people was Dyson Logos, and I want to give a shout out because I have fanboyed over Dyson's work for quite a while. He's an amazing published cartographer. If you see like in Watsy's products, I think he's done some stuff for Cold Bowl Press and stuff like that. He's very, very famous for his line art dungeon drawings and stuff like that. He's got his own channel. If you look down below in the doobly-doos under Gamer Resources, you're going to see a link to his website. If you want some quick, amazing, old school looking maps, that's the way to go. So with those out of the way, anybody want to do a recap of what went on last week?
Well, go ahead.
Jeannie, go ahead. No, Jeannie, you got this.
Okay. We were tootling along, down the road, minding our own business, and came across zombies. That was fun. We were actually kicking ass until the really big dude showed up. He was a 12-foot tall giant, and apparently he was a suicide bomber, and he blew himself up. That was not fun.
I'm fine.
That was after he kicked my ass.
And with that said, we now close in on our band of merry and brave adventurers as they stand in the area of that wrecked wagon where they defeated the big giant bad guy who is now no longer there. He's there, he's rotting, and everybody is gathered around the wagon itself.
Charles, you want to unpause the forge?
Yep. With everybody covered in goo and splatters from the exploding giant zombie-like creature, which you now know to be essentially a zombie brute. You can see chunks of his flesh like laid around the camp area and the extremities where he blew up, and you can actually see on the log where like a flap of his chest skin was at, and it's slapped onto the chest. His chest skin slapped onto the log, and you can see on the log on the chest where the runes were carved in that kind of like I'd said before, Barash, that you had seen over on closer to the mainland, near the Farish coast and in the Black Windmire. You were quite familiar with some Orcish tribes and stuff like that have developed nefarious means and spellcrafting ways and rituals of taking these enormous beasts and taking control of them, but never quite like in an undead sort of way. But you're familiar with these big massive creatures that would be loaded down with explosives and stuff like that. And it's stuff that you all probably have heard about, or heard tales about during like the Orion Wars from a few hundred years ago, and maybe tales from far off lands, things such as that. Oh, there is something I need to get up and running really quick. If I'm going to do any giveaways tonight, let me get this up and running. There we go. That was something that I needed there. Now we got that up and running. So as you're all kind of gathered around, everybody roll me a perception check.
I got a 25.
Ooh.
17.
Apparently, I have giant in my eye. I got a 9.
Okay.
I got an 8.
All right, so Barashkin says, as you guys are kind of gathered around here, you hear a kind of a whimpering sound. It almost sounds like muffled laughter in a way, kind of like a kind of sound going on, and it's coming off to the right-hand side where you see this giant fallen tree that stretches its limbs over the fast-moving creek and all that, and it's kind of coming from off over in that direction. You can also continue to hear out in the deeper, darker parts of the forest. You can still hear like the low guttural groans and stuff of zombies and gurgles and other odds and ends of things from time to time. And you can definitely get the impression that whatever may have been laid to rest in this general area has no longer decided to stay resting and is up and moving around.
I'm going to look to the others. Did you hear that? And I'll kind of gesture with my head towards the tree.
Nope.
No.
Did it sound like it was in the tree itself, Charles, or that it was like on the other side of the tree?
On the other side, kind of more down at a ground level. Definitely about, and you rolled a 25?
25, yeah.
Okay, there's a mechanical element to it.
Okay. Like a tinny element, or more like a recorded message type
More
thing that would
tinny,
be
more
magic.
tinny. Yeah, more tinny. Definitely not a magical sound. It's more of a metallic sound.
I'm gonna move up, kind of like right there, and kind of peer over the log. Because I mean, is this a big tree?
Yeah, it's big enough to stretch from where you're at and actually cross all the way over the creek itself. And as you move over to that area, at your feet, kind of lost in the shadows and the nook and the crannies of this, where the stump is for this massive blown down tree, as you kind of look down, you're not sure exactly what it is you see. You might even actually kind of move your foot back a little bit cautiously, because sitting there is a small fur-like multi-limbed creature. To your eyes and where you're from, it's not something that you have any idea of what the hell it is. It looks like maybe a miniature bear or some kind of miniature animal, and it's just kind of sitting there. It's got some brush and stuff kind of over it. You can kind of see one handless, almost featureless, like fur arm sticking out of a branch, and you can see the snout, and the snout has a little bit of smeared blood on it in all of that, and you can see that, and you can see the rest of like the bulge of it underneath the branches and twigs and all of that, but you can't see the far side of it. But it looks like some kind of animal, some miniature bear or miniature, like some kind of an animal.
I'm gonna take my spear and poke it,
When you poke it, the bushing, the twigs and stuff and the branches that are covering over it kind of shift out of the way, and it kind of slides as you kind of poke it. It slides and leans in a little bit to one of the legs that comes off of the stump, and it kind of, when it does that, it lets out this kind of sound. To you, it sounds like the moans, the aches, the whines of a dying creature of some kind, because it very much is, as it leans and slides, it's going, and then it goes silent. All the tinniness, there's like one or two more ting, tong, tong, and then it goes silent.
And no more movement after I keep poking it?
Nope. It when you poke it more, you can feel like what you're poking it with kind of presses into it, and it feels like it's got solid stuff inside of it, as a matter of fact, when you push, but it's kind of pressed up against like where the bend of the leg comes off, the root leg comes off of the stump, and it's kind of stuck up against that. So when you push it, maybe every like you push it and then you push it again, and it gives out one more kind of mournful kind of sound.
I'll reach down and grab it.
Okay, and as you grab it, your scaly lizard hand, clawed and all that, grabs onto it, and you pull it up towards you. As you pull it up, everybody kind of hears this now, because now it's out of the cover of the foliage. It's away from the stump and all that. As Barash pulls it up and kind of holds this thing up, as it comes up, you hear this ding. And it almost seems like it wants to play a song, and it ding 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 dong, and it stops. And that doesn't make that grrr sound though. It does not have indigestion. It does not have indigestion.
What manner of effigy is this, and what is its purpose? And I'll hold it out to the rest of you.
To the rest of you, even the rat folk who has enough social. He's been out in social circles around him. You guys can all immediately tell that this is a child's teddy bear. And there is quite the smear. It's kind of a light tannish color, well loved. It's got a couple worn spots on it, that sort of stuff. And there's a smear of blood across it. And as he's holding it, he'll move it like, what manner of effigy is this? And he moves it over towards you, and it kind of shakes a little bit. It's like, ding, ding, dong, ding, Wally. No.
Rosh, it's a child's plaything, like toy. There must have been a child around here somewhere. At some point.
Why would you teach a child to play with bears? They're dangerous.
I don't know. It's a human thing.
You people make no sense to me. I'm just going to drop it on the ground then.
Okay. And as he drops it, and it thunks to the ground, and it sits there and up on its side, just a little bit on its side, and it kind of rolls over again, and its arms flop open. You once again you hear this ding 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 kind of sound, and it times every time I time it with the zombie sounds I got going, and it does that. And when you put it down, Barash, you guys kind of put it down and just kind of and then turn away.
Oh, I know you said it. Now I just drop it.
Okay, you just drop it? Okay. So as Barash kind of drops it and kind of forgets about it, and you all hear this happen, the three of you go ahead and make me a perception check. Let me know if you get over an 18, if you would.
That's a critical one. I lost it.
You got giant in your eye.
Yeah. Covered in giant goop right now.
I got the 25 this time.
Nice. Selenar?
I got a 14.
All right. So as Barash kind of just drops it and just forgets about it almost instantly, you guys have kind of become familiar with Barash. He's a very gruff sort of individual. He's not very warm, not very loving, doesn't believe in giving a shoulder to cry on, maybe one to gnaw on, but not his. He wants to gnaw on other ones. You've become accustomed to this, but as he drops it and goes to turn away from it, You watch it and you kind of focus in a little bit harder when it hits the ground and makes this grumbling sound. And it's odd because this no-handed arm kind of flops as it kind of rolls over, and when it flops, it's almost as if it's pointing at something, and as it flops, I glint. So where the leg of the root comes off of the stump and barrels into the ground, underneath of that, there appears to be a glint of some kind. You can't tell if it's metal, you can't quite tell if it's a gem or a jewel, but something definitely glinted just briefly.
I'm gonna kind of cautiously go over and check it out.
Okay, as you kind of come walking up to it, and you kind of focus in even more so, it glints again, and the moon now, like before when the battle first started, the moon was flooding down and it illuminating so much stuff around you. Clouds are now passing over, so between the clouds and the shadows being cast, and the light off of the light spell and the torch and all that, you see something down there that looks to be silver.
Okay, I will reach down and pick it up.
Okay. Oops. Let me get my notes back up here, please. Thank you. Sorry. Ah, did I even write this down? I believe it did. Okay, cool. Whew. All right, so as you reach down and you're going to kind of pull it out, at first it's kind of stuck, and the metal itself doesn't seem to be like super thick or anything like that, and when you pull on it, you actually feel a bit of the metal kind of almost begin to like stress or begin to give up,
like it's hooked on something.
Like it's hooked on something. Yeah, exactly.
Is it just like a straight piece of metal, or is it a chain?
Hold on. It seems like a solid piece of metal, maybe 3, maybe 4 inches in size, but it's definitely hooked in
under
there
the tree.
Where the root comes and goes into the ground. It's stuffed underneath there, and it's kind of wedged in there. You can't quite tell if you pull too hard or anything like that, if it's going to break it, bend it, do something, otherwise to it.
I'll try like wiggling it around, see if it'll loosen up and come out.
Okay, so you're gonna try and wiggle it around. Give me a second here. I am having fits. Absolute fits, I tell ya. Absolute fits. All right, there we go. So you're gonna kind of start wiggling it around a little bit.
Yeah, trying to loosen it up.
So describe exactly how you're gonna do that. Because like when you're moving it, you can actually feel the metal. It does feel like it's gonna fray a little bit, or it's gonna bend a little bit. Go ahead and roll me thievery. Or you can give me a flat dex. One of the two. So both could be about the same.
That is a nat 20.
Wow. Who's the rogue?
A guy with a giant in his eyes, he's sputtering right now and stumbling around.
You inspired by something calls, and for a brief second, you actually feel a smattering of luck. Like, not physically tangible, but you just feel like you moved it and it was just lucky. And when you pull it out, what you see is a small hand. Okay. And on the small hand, you see that the hand is closed, and you see a coin kind of up on it. And right when you see it, you immediately are able to identify that this is a holy symbol that belongs to those who follow Edarin the Lost. And you
Okay.
know that Edarin is the god of travel, luck, and the lost. Now, whether or not it was there with the little boy's toy, with the little teddy bear, or if it was there from another time, you can't quite tell. There's no blood on it, and it was wedged in there pretty handily.
While she's kind of bending down looking at that, I'm just going to kind of come over, grab my backpack, and start playing with my healer's tool. Sit still! And I'm going to start trying to patch her up.
Okay.
Jeez. Okay. I'll just kind of put that in my pocket.
I'll be 16. Where is that? Where are you?
What are you looking for?
So
the
while
healers kit?
Barashk is patching up Ferlina, what are Selenar and Sez doing?
If I can manage to get my vision cleared, I am going to actually kind of move around the perimeter, kind of
Okay.
just looking to see if there's anything else to
Okay. Selenar?
head just
I'm gonna move down closer to the creek.
Okay.
You get 10 hit points back, Genie.
Woohoo!
Yay!
He gets hit points back. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. Very good thing to have happen. Yes, it is. So you guys have pretty much gone through the cart. Like I said, last session, you've been able to get enough provisions off of the cart from the bakery and things like that. You found like a small crate of dried sausages and cured meats and stuff like that. All of this was going down to Parliament Gears, which you can guess to be a relative of Parliament, in the veiled city of Alaria. What they were doing so far off-road, you don't know. You guys were traveling off-road, off the main thoroughfare that kind of leads from Reston Falls through the Traveler's Rest and down south into the Veiled City. You can still kind of periodically off in the distance, you hear differing levels of grunts and groans and growls and gurgles and all of that. And you can definitely tell that the dead are out there walking. You're also all kind of beginning to get a little haggard. The battle itself being a little bit extraneous, a little bit tough, that sort of thing. So as the night progresses on, what is your guys' plan of action?
I mean, we should definitely gather the bodies all into one spot. Then we gotta keep an eye on them, make sure they're not reanimated by whatever's reanimating the rest of the dead. This is probably a decent place to make camp, I would think. We've already cleared it out. We got the creek kind of at our back.
Yeah, I agree.
So you're gonna gather
Yeah,
up all the bodies?
Yeah.
Let's throw them in the cart. Because we should burn the bodies when we leave.
Sounds like a plan.
So who's going over to the body? You guys have control of your characters. So who else is going over towards the body of the Raven Trust lass that you found? The one that's apparently related to Amara.
Yeah, I'll
I'll
come
go.
with Selenar.
Slasher Queen, thank you for the follow 11 minutes ago. I did not once again see any of my alerts go off. Yeah. So
Right.
who all went over there? Barashk and Selenar?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yep,
as you guys move
I'm
over,
cleaning giant gunk out of the rest of my stuff.
okay, as you guys go over and are you gonna just drag the body? You're gonna pick her up? What exactly? How exactly are you gonna handle this?
I think we should pick the body up and carry her.
If he's going to pick her up, I'll help. But I was just going to drag her.
All right. So as Selenar and Barashk bend down to pick up this this figure torn up, and as you go to pick her up, you see as you lift her up, one arm was kind of tucked under her body as she's kind of laid face down like that. And as you pick her up, a couple things happen. First off, you hear something moist and wet, and you see this gaping gash across her midsection where her innards, as you lift her up, actually slough out of her and trail to the ground. The other thing that you see is when you lift her up, that arm folds out in her hand in kind of a death grip. Sorry if this freaks people out. In this death grip, you see a much smaller arm.
Like a child's arm?
Yes.
Okay.
Or a midget, or a halfling, or a gnome.
Okay, I mean, it's another arm. I don't comment on it, I keep moving the body.
You gonna follow along with them, Selenar, or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna have picked up the feet to kind of help.
Okay, so as you guys are carrying her, the two of you who remain behind were cleaning up things and all that. You guys see Selenar and you see Barashk reapproach the wagon, carrying the remains of the woman. What you see is basically a line of her entrails trailing out back towards the bush, and you see, locked in a death grip, now kind of being drug on the ground, what at first looks like a thick stick or something to that effect, but as they draw closer and they get closer into all the light kind of congeals in the one area, you see exactly what it is. It appears that the woman is holding the hand or wrist of a much smaller figure. It could be, at least from the distance you're at, a halfling or a gnome or something like that.
Oh dear. That means that there's a little kid zombie running around out here.
Well, that means there's more people involved.
Of course, we saw the child's toy. So obviously there was a kid. At least these two individuals.
Well, they could
You
have
know.
picked up the toy for the child to be bringing it back. I mean, this definitely means that there's a kid out here somewhere.
You don't know
I
that
mean,
for
they're
sure.
dead now.
I would assume so, if he's missing his arm. Yeah,
I'm just gonna throw her body on the cart.
as we're talking, I'm actually attempting to.
You attempting to what? We lost you.
Danny cut out again.
You're cut out, Danny.
All right, you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm attempting to grab the legs of the other body by the log here
Okay.
and drag him.
Okay, as you
I'll help
kind of
him.
pull him in. What was that?
I'll help him.
Okay, so as the body is tossed in, the arm is in such a way that it remains held on, and you get the bodies tossed into the cart, mixed in with whatever items of food and stuff like that were either too far gone or you decided that you did not need or were not going to take. What is your next plan of action?
Those zombies that are still in like one piece, I'll start dragging them over, throw them in as well.
Okay, so you all spend roughly about the next 10-15 minutes gathering up as much of the zombies and their body parts and all that stuff and kind of pile them all over onto the wagon. Is your intention to torch them?
In the morning, yes.
Okay, right. So what are you guys going to do? The night is indeed drawing along.
I'll
I guess
take first watch if you guys want to get some rest.
We move closer to the river, or
yeah, I was
Move up.
thinking like right here. I mean, this is a pretty good tree. That's a good blockage there with the creek behind us.
Mhm.
We just kind of have to worry about, the rest of the way. Where am I? There I am.
yep, and we, yeah.
Lay out bedrolls and camp for the night.
I'll take second
I'll take third watch.
first for the.
All right. So for Lena, you're taking the first watch, correct?
Yes.
as everybody kind of sets up camp and you guys kind of set up a bit of a perimeter and everybody begins to bed down and let the evening or the night's grasp kind of seep into you, you begin to realize that it's quite cold. Are you going to do a fire or anything? Or are you going to stay in the dark, just bundle up?
I have the zombies around. I'm just gonna bundle up.
Yeah.
Okay. So does everybody have winter gear? Because as you're beginning to break camp, as has happened over the past week, you begin to encounter snow. This snow happens to be falling a little bit stiffer than it has for the past few nights. The past few nights has been basically waking up to hoarfrost on the trees, dealing with intermittent snowflakes and that sort of thing. Now you actually have a breeze that is beginning to pick up. Seems to be pushing a storm kind of out of the north, making it move kind of a southerly or a southwest or southeasterly kind of direction. And snowfall does begin to tumble down.
I'll pull it as tight as I can, and I'll actually strike it for warmth. And fire for warmth.
No, I'll do the same as says.
I grab their bedrolls and pull them to either side of mine, and then I climb into my bedroll and tell them, "Huddle for warmth."
So,
yeah. Using the torch, I'll take whatever bits of wood I can find in the area and try to make a fire in front of some people. I don't like coals.
Don't like
Well, there's
cold.
got to be some hot coals left over from the tree you torched.
Yeah, there is some wood that's out there that is still smoldering and maybe even some branches. The wood's fairly wet, so it is more smoldering than anything else. But you did explode a giant zombie, this huge giant zombie. And bits of his flesh did ignite some small tinder and stuff like that laying around.
I just gather what I can together into a pile.
Okay. Off in the distance, you continue to hear a lack of night birds, a lack of night bugs, like you would normally expect to hear crickets and all that. And while it is snowing and it is much more cool, that would explain the lack of bugs activity, maybe the lack of crickets, but it wouldn't necessarily explain the lack of everything else that you're familiar with. So things are still kind of subdued and quiet. And off in the far distance, kind of more from over in the area of the mountains, kind of, you're all tucked up over in along the mountains south of Reston Falls. You hear in the far, like muffled out, but you hear a scream break loose through the night. As everybody's bedded down for Lena, you hear it once, maybe twice. It doesn't. Go ahead and roll me a nature.
Uh, 18.
18. It doesn't seem to be like getting any closer, and you're not sure if you indeed heard a scream or what it was, but it was higher pitched and it was further out there than any of the other garbled kind of sounds that you're hearing. You have a few torches that are sitting around and burning. There's a little bit of warmth, and as your watch kind of begins to drag on, you don't hear it anymore. You do hear off in the woods somewhere straight to the north, again at a distance, you hear the cawing of one lone single crow or raven. As your watch kind of languishes for a little bit longer, eventually coming to an end, who is it that you're going to wake up for the second watch?
What says?
Says our rat folk. So you go over and wake them up?
Yep.
Describe to me exactly how you do that.
I'll reach down and just grab his shoulder and kind of gently shake him and say, says it's your turn for watch.
Oh, okay. And I kind of like stumble up. I actually will get up and start moving around perimeter.
All right. So as you kind of lean over and you go to wake up Says, you kind of begin to shake the and begin to stand up. Both of you roll me a perception check, please. I am going to roll for the two sleepers, which everybody could have seen had my camera not taken a dump.
23.
22.
Okay, you both again kind of off back towards where Almaya's niece or whatever she was, where you found her body, off that direction, kind of towards the mountain and up in kind of the foothill area. You definitely think you hear like a kind of erupt in the night once again.
See, I thought I heard that once before, but I wasn't sure if it was a bird or what.
We go check it out, or
I don't know. It seems kind of far away. I don't want to leave these guys.
all right? Well, you get some rest. I'm gonna move just a little bit that way to kind of taking a piece of like burning tinder with me for light.
Okay.
Okay. I'll hunker down where he was.
See if I can see anything.
All right. Stop moving. So you took a hunk of tinder, so I'm going to make you at about, we'll say half power.
Not a full torch, but
Yeah, not a full torch, but I will give you a little bit of light to be around you. There you go. Wow, apparently, hold on. Let me adjust that because that looks like a full torch to me.
Did you put bright as 20?
looks like I
There we
grabbed
go.
some.
There we go. As you kind of get out into this area, off in the distance, and you can't quite figure out like how far away it is, but you definitely hear like this, and then this kind of subtly goes away. But there's something behind it, further out than that sound that you hear, and it sounds very much like a kind of sound, like a howl that is both present and gurgly in a way. Definitely doesn't sound like a healthy animal. And maybe even as a ranger, an image will form in your head a little bit. Go ahead and what did you roll for? What did you roll?
20 perception earlier.
You can make out that it almost has like a canine sound to it, but definitely not a healthy canine.
Can I roll a nature check? See if I can.
Yeah.
9. That's
Again, it's definitely got kind of a canine feature to it, but you can't quite put your finger on exactly what the sound is, where it's coming from.
if I kind of cast about looking for tracks or anything unusual.
Go ahead and I think you should be able to go ahead and roll me a survival.
Also a 9.
Oh, so nice. You look around. There's been a lot of battle in the area. This is kind of the area where the big zombie, the giant zombie, was blown to bits and all that. So there's blood and guck and charred skin and just a whole blast pattern where this thing was. You just blam and it blew out. You can't quite make out anything other than that and maybe a couple other footprints that you could quickly relate to being part of the battle that you guys just had.
Well, head back. Just kind of keep an eye over everybody while they sleep.
Okay. You make your way back, and as you turn your back, you hear it again, both in combination. Again, it doesn't sound like it's getting closer. And you rolled a 9 for your nature. It doesn't sound like really if it's getting closer or not, but it's definitely out there and it's definitely odd. And you probably sit and spend probably the next hour of your watch kind of listening for that. And you hear it maybe one more time, again at distance, maybe a little further away. But you also hear, again, very similar to what Ferlina heard, even though she didn't impart the information to you, the sound of one single but very deep and guttural, very large sounding. One single cawing, whether it's a crow or a raven, you can't quite tell. If you wanted to roll a nature to find out which one it was, you probably could. Up to you.
Well, I remember the giant crow from before.
Right. Yep.
Probably what I'm thinking.
Okay, and your watch comes to an end.
I'll
was
have, while going through my watch, I'll have cleaned my daggers, ready to bolt my crossbow, and kind of set it for
Okay.
prepping it.
All right. So next up on the watch list.
Selenar.
Yeah.
That would be me.
Walk over and kind of shake Selenar away. Your turn
Let's
for
go
watch,
on.
Selenar. I
Okay.
heard some type of dog-like creature in the distance howling. It doesn't seem to be getting closer. And
Which
then
direction? Which direction?
I'll flip off towards where I was looking for. Wait off.
Okay.
I'll say it doesn't seem to be coming closer, but just in case, keep an eye out for any kind of wolves or anything. There's
Okay.
also that big crow from earlier.
And almost on cue, as says brings up the crow, you once again hear off in the distance. This time says about half again closer than it was the last time. You actually hear this once again, this caw-caw, this very deep, guttural, large sounding crow or raven. It's out past the edge of your light and what your light is casting, but it's definitely out there somewhere. You don't hear, however, the other noise that he brings up. So as says, tucks in and slips off for a bit of slumber before the evening's festivities. Selenar, is there anything that you're going to be doing during your watch in particular, or are you just going to sit there and watch?
I'm gonna pull out this locket that I haven't showed anyone. Or this like necklace, and kind of just examine that via light, but while also kind of keeping an eye on like the surrounding trail.
Okay, go ahead. As you kind of focus in on the locket that you're holding in your hand, remember I do not have the notes, so we're just going to play this by because I lost all my notes. Anyways, as you kind of focus in, go ahead and roll me a perception check really quick, please.
That would be a 14.
A 14. Off in the distance, coming from your left, kind of back up over in the area where the big beastie kind of blew up. You hear... and it seems to be drawing closer. And then after about the second or third time that you hear this... you hear this... and that's answered by a second one, kind of further off, maybe more to the north. You hear a resounding kind of sound.
Okay. I'm gonna move closer and pull out my glaive.
Okay.
Kind of go over here.
And you begin to walk in the remains of the big gloopity gloop guy, where he blew up, and you continue to hear these sounds erupting. I need to double check something here. Give me a second. I need to check in to see if I can find what it is that I'm looking. All right, I need a second. Again, for those people who are just now out there watching us, hang with me for a second. Earlier today, I lost all my session notes. I lost all of the campaign writing and all of the setting information. So I am currently just flying at the seat of my pants. So you're getting an inside look at the coolness that is Forge and Foundry. Let me see if I can find what it is that I am looking for and load this in really quick. This works. Close. And as you're sitting there and you're kind of moving up into the area where the battle with the big guy comes, you continue to hear this. And as it gets closer, you hear this.
Charles, you're
Kind of
cutting down.
sound.
I can't hear that at all.
Yeah.
What? Uh-oh.
Is there a cap or something on the?
No, there's no cap. I'm having all kinds of issues.
It's been one of them days.
Yeah, it was all good. Cover your mouth again, like you were doing before with the. Yeah, it starts and then it cuts for some reason when you're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only time I'm having trouble hearing you is when you like cover your mouth to make the noises.
Yep.
Can people hear Charles? We're having some audio issues.
Oh no.
Nope. They can't hear you. Yep.
I can hear you just fine. Like I said, the only time I'm having issues is when you cover your mouth and it'll start for like a split second and then cut out
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, Indigo says she can't hear you. Or he, she, they. Okay.
Testing, testing. Hello.
Can you hear the rest of us?
Can you hear us?
Oh, that sucks.
Okay.
Yeah, they can hear us. They can't hear you. Yeah. No, it doesn't. You're the storyteller. They can't hear you. They don't know what's going on.
That comment was staying talk there for a second.
All right, so we're gonna do a quick giveaway, like Charles said in the chat. You have to be a follower on the channel and enter the word he's going to input there just one single time. If you do it more than once, you'll be disqualified.
And make sure you do any uppercase or lowercase exactly as he has it.
Yes. It's case sensitive. We're doing the dice bag.
Doing the dice bag? Okay.
Yeah, just like Indigo. Do you mute us yet, Charles? Charles? We're gonna go to break. One thing about though, how long ago did people notice Charles going quiet? So we can kind of get an idea of when this might have cropped up. If you guys just post that in the chat as well, that'd be great. Thank you.
We're taking a break. Trying to get this audio issue fixed, if we can.
You guys hear us, or are we still having troubles with just Charles? Okay. So just Charles then. Okay.
Going for the giveaway. Winner is
Flash of Fire Stick.
Nice. Congrats.
Address already. I think we have his address already. That dice bag will get shipped out next Friday. This coming Friday, I should say.
All right. We couldn't figure out the audio issue, guys, so we're gonna call it a night.
which is going on for next week.
We'll try and hit it again next week.
Sorry, guys.